You have switched too many jobs. What does it say about you as a person? My response, I have, sir. I believe that there are many ways to look at it. I look at it as a sign of optimism and persistence, as a lot of curveballs have been thrown at me, and I managed to get past them. That's correct. That's a good way to go about it, to say, hey, we have switched jobs too many times. If you've switched jobs, if you've been in 5 jobs in 9 months, then that's trouble. But if it's 4 jobs in 3 years, you can still explain, especially particularly if 1 or 2 were completely out of your hands. If you said, look, we have shifted 3 jobs in 3 years, why did it happen? You can say, look, I started my career soon after my undergraduation. Luck would have it, there was a big layoff that was happening, and before I could even find my feet, before anyone could know that I could bring value to the table, I got laid off. And because I got laid off there, I had to find another job. So in some senses, I've just had 2 jobs in 3 years, which I think is a reasonable thing. That's all right. If there is a circumstance that changed dramatically, if you shifted cities and you had to move, if your company went bust, company laid you off, then all of those are pretty valid. So you should be able to reframe the question and say, look, it looks like I've worked in 4 companies in 3 years, but to be very honest, one of my job shifts was an internal shift. So I was working in company A, servicing client B, and they said, look, come over, we need you here. And then they said, look, we can't have you working from there. There are access control issues, so we need to recruit you. And I shifted there. And one of my jobs is because of the company laid off. So I worked in one company under 2 avatars. And then I shifted, after which I got laid off. I had to find another job. It's not like I've been switching as much as circumstances have dealt me a blow, and I've managed with that. That's fine. So your answer on the being curveballs and optimistic and persistent, definitely correct. So you took a job shift, so you can conclude that you'll go with the flow and go wherever there is more money. And so sometimes the truth is a wonderful answer. But if you can clearly articulate it, look, I was fresh out of college. I was getting paid 5 lakhs per annum, and I was adding a very particular skill set. I thought my natural progression would be to be there for 2 years, 3 years, at some point of time do an MBA, and then get to a job which would pay me 12, 15 lakhs per annum. That's what I was thinking 2.5 years ago. One fine day, I got a call and I attended an interview. That company paid me 14 lakhs per annum, because only then I realized that what I built as a skill set was rather specialized. It was a crucial part. It was impossible to turn down that offer. Only because I took that offer did my sense of, okay, what this skill set is I've added that. So there was something in my skill set, some one part of the technology or expertise that I had was super important for them. And so they paid that much for me. And I know that I need to keep myself, be on my toes to figure out what the next thing is, understand how companies recruit and hire, and that made me even more curious and even more enthusiastic to do an MBA. So this one time where I shifted, it was for the money, but it was staggeringly high. And it made me realize that there's something that I was bringing to the table that they understood better than I understood. I had to make the shift, or at least very little, to say, look, what is this thing? What am I bringing to the table? What is the context of the skill set that I have? And I had to see it. It was impossible to deny, which is why I took the job. After which I understood that, hey, any which way, I still want to do an MBA. I still want to learn a toolkit to figure out what the next skill set is, next important skill set is. How do I recruit guys with that skill set? How do I recruit guys with that skill set without paying 3x? I would have gone for 2x, or I might have gone for 2x. So I want to understand how that context is. So, which is why I want to do an MBA. You're good to go. Sometimes the truth is very powerful. I'm getting paid a bomb. How could I say no? In slightly different terms. That's completely fine. Best wishes, and hope all of you crack and go to wonderful college.